How you doing, everybody? I'm Scott Jelinek, the founder of the Master Investor Academy, and today I wanted to do a real short video for you on how to build a massive investors list. First of all, I want to explain what an investor list is. This is really only important for people who are going to do wholesaling. If you're going to just strictly buy properties and renovate them and retail them, or buy properties that you're going to keep as rentals, you really don't have any need for this. You can basically be on everyone else's investor list, but you don't have a need to have your own investor list. Investors list primarily are going to be for people who are wholesaling or people who are doing enough deals where you may have overflow and you can't close on all your deals, so you want to wholesale them out and make something. The object is to have as many names as you can on your investor list. I have over 2,000 on mine. I know people that have over 6,000 on theirs. Don't just get 5, 10, 20 investors and think you're done. There's always going to be a time, no matter how many deals someone's doing, there's going to be a time where they're out of money or they stop buying for the time being. So even if they're your greatest investor and they're buying 3 deals a month from you, once they have those 3 deals for that month, when you get number 4 and 5, you need to have other people to go to. So you want to get as many investors on your list as possible. Now, about screening your list. I've read all kinds of things and I've heard different people's opinions on questionnaires to fill out and what are you looking for? Are you looking for multifamily? What price range? What ARV? What type of repairs do you want? I throw all of that out. My opinion is, I want your name, your email address, your phone number. I don't care. I don't care if you don't do deals. I don't care if you're hoping to do deals in the future. I don't care. My object, it doesn't cost me any more to send out an email to 1,000 people as it does to send it out to 5,000 people. So I want more and more people on the list. The more the better. You never know. Even if they're not doing a deal this year, they may start doing them next year. They may have a friend who's doing deals. It costs you nothing. So when you come across somebody who wants to be on your list, you don't need to screen them and make sure they're qualified or that they're actually doing deals. They want to be on the list, they're on the list. Simple as that. So how do you build your investor list? So let's get started. One of the simplest, easiest ways to get started is to call your competition. You call the same thing that you're doing for marketing, you call other people's. You call those We Buy Houses signs that you see on the road. You drive past cars during the day, you see We Buy Houses on the side of the car. Everywhere you go where you see We Buy Houses, it could be in your newspaper, in your yellow pages, online, you call your competition and you basically ask them if they want to be added to your investor list. They're all going to say yes. There's no reason nobody wouldn't be on someone else's investor list. And just don't bog them down with a bunch of questions. Introduce yourself, get their name, email address, and phone number, and that's all you want. And just tell them we'll keep you in mind when we get our next deal. Calling your competition is a great way to start off to build your investor list. Another way that we like to use is to go to your local real estate investors association. In your real estate investors association, generally you'll have 200-300 people who are in the group. Most of those people, believe it or not, aren't doing deals. The group is generally filled up with people who want to do deals. They still make excellent buyers though. When they're ready to pull the trigger, you're there to sell them something. But there's always going to be that 10-15% who are seasoned investors and are regularly flipping deals. So when you go to these meetings, you want to get as many people's business cards as you can. Sometimes there's a flyer desk in the front when you walk in. Get as much information as you can. Come back and enter everything into your database. You just want to grow that list with as many people as you can. Another way a lot of people build investor list is with ads. Now, I don't like the term ghost ads. I don't like when people do it because I don't like when they do it to me. One way they do it is they put out ghost ads, which you'll run an ad, on Craigslist, for instance, of a house that you don't even really have, but it all sounds too good to be true, and so you get flooded with people calling, and then you tell them, oh, sorry, that one's taken, but let me get your information and I'll call you on the next one. I don't like to do that, so what I do is when I actually have a deal, I run the ad, and I word it nicely, I run the ad. Even though the house gets sold, I leave the house going on Craigslist, and I'll leave it going for a while. Pretty much no different than a ghost ad, but I like to have a real house to back it up with, because sometimes they will ask you further questions. You'd be surprised when you run a proper ad and you put pictures of it and you put your price and this is a solid wholesale deal, you will get hundreds of people that are sending you interested in it, and then you're going to tell them all the same thing. I'm sorry, that one's already taken, but we get new deals all the time. Give me your name, email address, phone number, and I will call you the next time we get something in. And it's a great way to build your list. I know people who also do it with ghost signs. I don't like using the ghost thing, but they do the same thing with a sign. They'll write out, cheap house or $25,000 house or whatever's a cheap house in your area. They'll write, $25,000 cash deal, needs work, and a phone number, and no specific addresses. And they put them out much like bandit signs that you put out to find seller leads. They put it out to find investors. When people call, they do the same exact thing. Sorry, that sign's still out. I already had that house sold. However, if you give me your name, your email address, and phone number, I'll call you when the next deal comes up. Great way to build your list. Another way we use is auctions. When you go to foreclosure auctions or tax sale auctions, there's tons of people there. Well, all of the people who are at auctions are qualified cash buyers. Every single one of them. And that's why I love auctions, because you don't have to screen at all. You go to a local courthouse step auction, you might have 15 people there. Well, those 15 people are solid cash buyers. They have a $20,000 check with them, and they're prepared to close in a week for 150, 200 grand. Those are the cash buyers you want. However, they're not thrilled generally with people coming asking their information. So typically, you become part of the process. You go to the auctions, you get to know people, and then you might say, well, we get deals just like this one all the time. Why don't you give me your information? I'll add you to the list. They're happy to be on the list as long as you're sending them good deals. Nobody ever gets mad at being on the list. If you ever go to a city tax sale auction, city tax sale auctions may have 200 people there. So you're not going to be able to just get everybody's information, but you network as best you can. You hand out your cards, and then you hope that they call to add it. Get what you can. Another way we like to use is just go to Google. We basically Google, we buy houses, sell my house fast, how do I sell my ugly house? And you'll get your competitors. Everybody that's doing search engine optimization, all your competitors are going to be listed there. Those are the people who are buying houses. That's who you want. So you're basically just going to take their information, their phone number, you're going to call, tell them exactly who you are. You're a wholesaler and you get deals in this area, and get their phone number, the contact info, and add it to your investor list. Squeeze page. I use a squeeze page. We advertise it every day on Craigslist. We advertise it in a few different places, and basically all it says in the ad is sign up for the hottest wholesale list in town, and there's a link on it. You click on the link and it'll take you to a squeeze page that just says what we do. We'll send you our leads as soon as we get them. You'll be the first to know, and it has enter your name and email address, and that's it. I use a service provider. I use Aweber. I know people use Constant Contact or iContact. Aweber, Google has one that's, I forgot what it's called. Google has their own, it's called MailChimp. Or you can just use, some people just do it like in their Yahoo list. I don't use the Yahoo list, and I'll tell you why, and it's easy if you're a computer person to overcome, but I've had many investors send out a house that they're trying to wholesale, and they accidentally don't hide all their contacts. And just like that, I have 200 new names to add to my investor list. And it's horrible when they do it for them because they have their sacred list, and now we all have their sacred list. And I'll literally print it out, and I'll take the time and input them one at a time onto my list. And that's how your list grows and grows and grows. Remember, when you are a wholesaler, your money is in that list. The more buyers you have, the more confidence you have when you go out to meet with a seller, because you know how much you're going to be able to get for it, and you know what you're going to be able to sell it for. Let me tell you, I have thousands of people on my list, and I almost very rarely send stuff out to the list, which is ironic. I'm so into building a list, but yet I don't use it that often. When you do this regularly, you'll have your regular investors. You might sell to the same 5, 10 investors over and over and over again, but every now and then, you're going to have that deal, they're clogged up at the moment, it doesn't get sold, you're going to want to shoot it out to your list, and bam, you have 2,000 people you're sending it to, it's going to be sold. These are all investors in one way or another. That's how you get houses sold. The money is in the list. You've got to have a large list. And don't stop. So many people tell me, oh, I already have 10 guys, I have 20 guys I sell to. They come and go, they come and go, they come and go. If you're going to be in this business long term, especially if you're going to be in a wholesaler, never stop building your list. I go out to look at a bank-owned property, I might run into 2, 3 investors while I'm at the house. I take everybody's card every single time. I get back to my office, I input it into my list, and the list just keeps growing and growing. If you're going to be a wholesaler, obviously you need to have an investor list. That's kind of your primary objective, has to be to build an investor list. If you're not going to be into wholesaling, it doesn't matter that much. You really don't even have to. If you get overflow, you can always just call a wholesaler and he'll break the spread with you. People do that with me. People that have flippers, they may get a house and they say, well, I already got 5 going right now, but this is a good deal. They'll mark it up 5 grand. I'll turn around and mark it up 5, 10 grand. Everybody's happy. So they don't mind the fact that I'm making money on it as well. That's all I have. I just wanted to share that with you today. I get that question a lot on my blog, and it's simple how to build a massive investors list. It's really simple, but the key answer is it's just over time. Never stop doing it. You got to constantly keep adding names as you get them. People come and go in this business, and every time one steps in, get their information, add them to your list. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.